Hello everybody. I just wanted to do a video again like I did last Christmas Eve. I felt like it was very good for me to do it, and hopefully it was something that was impactful for some of you who are in my life. Hopefully it will be the same this year. I just wanted to take this night of nights to reflect on this past year. I know so many of us have had a horrific year. It has not been easy. And to all of you who have gone through any kind of suffering this year, I truly send my heart out to you, now and always. And as hard as it is to remember this, you're never alone. And I will talk about that in this video as well. But for those of you who are watching and who do celebrate, I want to wish you a very Merry Christmas. And for those of you who don't celebrate, please know that this night is not what it was meant to be. It was never meant to be taken hostage the way that it has been by the religion aspect of it. This was a human being. This is history of human beings, and if we look at it from that standpoint, it affects everybody, not just a certain faith. So we celebrate this night the birth of a baby who would grow up to change Western culture and the entire world, really, forever. Now bear with me, folks. For those of you who are Christian, this might be a little bit of a stretch, but please know that when I say this, I do not mean any harm. I do not mean any offense to anyone's beliefs or faiths. I have nothing but respect for all of you. But this is going in and tying with what I've been learning over the past year. I am an openly gay man, and I'm not going to ever hide that. To do so would take away what God has given me, what I have been ordained by God, and that is to be a gay man. And if I'm not open about that, I'm not living authentically, and that is what I am meant to do. That's what we're all meant to do. When we are fully alive, that is what that's when God is happiest, is when we're fully alive, to quote Saint Irenaeus. So there's that. But in one of the courses I recently took, I read from a theologian named Patrick Chang. Openly gay, Asian American, wonderful theologian. And he basically made the argument, if you will, that the birth of Jesus was God's way of coming out of the closet in human form. I have never read anything theologically standing that made me want to jump up and just shout from the rooftops with joy about that. I found that to be absolutely lovely and wonderful and awe-inspiring when he wrote that, and I feel like it's true. So in that regard, what I will say is that the church has caused trauma to LGBTQ people around the world for far too long. Families have been torn apart and manipulated into thinking things that just are not so. And it's time for it to stop. That's not what Jesus wanted. In fact, his birth was God's way of coming out of the closet in human form, and there is evidence to really prove that Jesus was what we would probably just call queer, because homosexuality and the term gay was not existent back then. So, but bottom line, his ministry was for the marginalized. It was for the people who were hated by society, who were never ever supposed to have hope. he gave them hope. And I can't imagine that doesn't include gay people, LGBTQ people. So this is your night. If you have suffered any trauma from the church in your past, I hope it heals, and I hope that my words bring you a sense of comfort and a sense of empowerment to take this night back, because it is truly for everybody. We are reminded of this, and I said it last year, but it's true. We were reminded that the birth of that baby was for everybody by the wise men. We don't know how many of them there were, but the tale goes that there were 3 of them. But we do know however many men came, they were not from that region. They were from who knows how far away. We know this because of the gifts that were brought to the baby. They were not from that area at all. So that shows you right there that these men who were completely from different parts of the world, different cultures, different beliefs, they came to pay homage to this baby who was meant for everybody. And it's true. It's just love. And we see it in his ministry when he grows up. He teaches us to have courage, because that's what he was doing. He was fighting against the injustices of his world. And he is asking us to do the same. To not sit by quietly when we see bad things happen. This year has been very tough on me as well, and because of that strength that Jesus has asked us to have to stand up for what's right, I was witness to a lot of not pretty things in my work environment. And a lot of things happened, and I had to stand my ground. I had to do what I had to do. I'm not happy that I had to cause harm to anybody, but I stood up for justice, and I know I did the right thing, even though it ate me alive for a while. So that was very hard for me this year, to be a part of all of that, and I never in a million years thought I would have been involved with something like that. But to the women that I know, I can't go into great detail, of course, but I just love you, and I am so inspired by the strength that all of you have. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how Mary did it, the mother of Jesus. It's wonderful. But the year also gave me another heartache. The year prior, I know I spoke to you all about losing my very good friend Alfredo, and it still eats me alive every day. I miss him so much. It hurts still. But just a few weeks before my semester started, that just ended, my family, we went through a devastating loss, and I know everybody in my family has been impacted by it, and it has been traumatizing for all of us. For any family members who I have not spoken to recently, I am so sorry, and I love you so much because I have been brokenhearted. My aunt and uncle were killed together in a car accident. It was very tragic, obviously, and it's been really hard for everybody. But going into this semester with that grief was not easy, and I've just been living on something called survival grief, basically. And I'm trying to work on that now. And I also was hospitalized in the beginning of the semester, which put me behind in my schoolwork, and that was not easy. As a matter of fact, I fell behind in all of my classes, and I never was able to play catch up because it's a lot of work, and I work, I have a job, and I'm trying to keep myself afloat. I ended up not passing one of my classes this semester. I'm not proud of it. I'm not proud of it at all, but it was not intentional. And I did all that I could to get past it, and I just have to remember something that Lauren Daigle sings about in one of her songs, and that is, you'll have every failure, God. You'll have every victory. And I just have to give that one to God and hope for the best. And I admit that to all of you with the utmost humility. So I'm not sure what next semester is going to hold. But I also wanted to really hone in on the word of the night for me. Christmas Eve means everything to me because it is that night of love for the whole world, no matter who we are. But tonight I have to focus on gratitude. This year was very difficult, and I had a lot of suffering, but I also had such beautiful moments that I just have to embrace right now with all of you and with God. I have a coworker who literally saved me this summer. She was so kind and gracious and gave me her AC unit, the window unit. Without her, I may not have gotten through the summer in this apartment because it was unbearable. Unbearably hot, and I did not have an AC because they don't provide it. Nobody has one that is provided, really. So to her, I will not give her name, but I love you. And if you ever watch this, I can't ever thank you enough for that. And God bless you for that, for helping me. I will never ever be able to fully put in words what another coworker of mine did. When I found out that my aunt and uncle had just been killed, I was in an Uber on my way to work, and it was too late to ask the driver to turn back, so I had to go into my store, sobbing tears. I couldn't even breathe. And one of my managers, there were two of them there, and one of them saw me, and when I told her what happened, she, without hesitation, wrapped her arms around me right there in front of everybody in the store. She didn't care. Managers usually don't do those kinds of things, and she didn't care. And I needed that hug so badly. I can't even put it into words how much I needed it. Because it was the only hug I got for days after I found out that news, and I have thanked her so many times. But I just am so thankful to you if you were watching this ever. And I love you with all my heart. So you're a wonderful manager and a wonderful human being. So I'm grateful to you. I am grateful to my school for being so gracious to me and giving such grace to me when I have gone through such hardships in my time in seminary with all of my losses, and all of my professors. You are wonderful. You really are. To all of my friends whom I have not been in touch with, I ask you to please on this night forgive me. You may not want to talk to me again. I understand that, but please forgive me. If not for me, for yourself. And I love all of you. Even if we're not talking all the time, I love you so much. To my family, I pray for all of us every day. And my mother, you are my everything. When I almost thought I was going to die by getting hit by a car earlier in the year, the first person I called was my mother, and thinking about how much it would have devastated her if that car had hit me and I died. You are my heart, my touchstone, you're everything. So that's where I have to leave it. And to all of my other friends and coworkers and people who have been in my life and who have given me love when I didn't expect it, and when I certainly didn't ask for it, when I probably was pushing it away. Thank you. Thank you so much for everything. As cliche as it is, I do say God bless us, everyone. And again, Merry Christmas to all of you who celebrate. It truly is a night of wonder, of joy, comfort, and reflection. Walk gentler tomorrow than you did today. Give more love tomorrow than you did today. Pay it forward. Until next year, happy holidays to all of you.